menstrual cups, you have to really be comfortable with yourself. I'm telling you, this is not for the weak-hearted at all.
All I need is one day, one time. All I need is one take, one line, and I'm gonna make you fall in love with me. And I'm gonna make you fall in love with me.
Hey girlfriend, welcome back to Deja's Diary. If you are new here, I am Deja Denise. And if you're not new but you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that so that you can become one of my girlfriends. So as you know, on my channel, we always get a little personal here and there. So today's video is all about reusable period products. Whew. Quick disclaimer, because y'all already know what's up. I'm not an OBGYN. I am not a doctor. I am just sharing my experiences with you. So not only am I talking about menstrual cups, but I'm also talking about reusable pads. So I started wearing menstrual cups back in October of 2019, and I have not used a tampon since. After every cycle, my pH would just be so off balance. And if you've watched my boric acid video, I kind of talk about it there too. It was just like anytime I would use a tampon, it just wouldn't work. I would use organic, take that for what you will, and it seemed to be even worse than before. So I knew that I needed to make a switch. Also last year I was working in an environment where I wasn't able to use the bathroom frequently to like change stuff out, and so with menstrual cups you can kind of wear them up to 12 hours. I don't, but we'll get to that, but the possibility is there. Another big reason why I stopped wearing tampons was that when you think about tampons and they're going up your body, they're expanding and absorbing like fluid, and also the particles inside the tampons, you know, then transfer inside of your body as well. And to me, that just doesn't seem like something that I wanted. And when it came to a menstrual cup, they collect the fluid rather than absorbing it. Also, not buying tampons every month has also been a game changer when it comes to money. I bought my menstrual cup in October and I haven't spent money on a period product since. So before I made the switch, I watched several videos on YouTube about menstrual cups. Some were more graphic than others. This one will not be that. And I also realized that people that look like me weren't really talking about it, so I wanted to kind of share my experience as well. So after watching tons of videos, I then wanted to choose a menstrual cup for me, and it's kind of hard to go online and kind of just pick. There's so many out there. So there's actually a quiz on putacupinit.com. I will link it down below. I took the quiz and it kind of gauges what you need. The questions are very intimate and very specific, so it's very, very helpful when it comes to choosing. I think I took the quiz 3 times, changing like one slight thing to see if I would get a different cup, and I didn't. I got the same cup every single time. I was actually recommended the Saalt light cup, and I know my body, so I knew that light wasn't for me. But if you're considering it, I would definitely recommend taking that. So speaking of Saalt, that is actually the menstrual cup that was recommended for me. I also know that my flow changes throughout my cycle, so I wanted to get 2 different sizes, and they have this awesome dual pack that comes in small and regular, so a little bit more TMI. But when I wore tampons, I wore super tampons, and I can wear a regular in menstrual cups now. So the pink cup is the capacity of 3 tampons. It's light to normal flow. It's for a first time user, and it's like pre-birth. So if you're like not a mama, this is good for you. Like I said, I was a super before I switched, so this is for my lighter days. I wouldn't dare wear this on a normal day. I have before, but you just have to change it more frequently. My absolute favorite though is the regular. It's the blue one. It's a bigger barrel or bell, and that's for normal / heavy flow. It's a high capacity if you have a high cervix. If you go on putacupinit.com, or if you go on any videos on YouTube and search in how to find the size of your cervix, there's several ways that you can find your cervix size. And just keep in mind that during your cycle, your cervix size also fluctuates, so it's good to have different sizes on hand when it's that time of the month. So this came with the instructions, of course, the 2 menstrual cups, and then it also came with these baggies to keep them in. I'm not gonna lie, I keep mine in the shower. So insertion in the shower is the GOAT. Like, it's honestly the best. It's so much easier. You can like prop your leg up. If it is a bit messy, I mean, what better place to be than the shower? I wash them and keep them in the shower. And speaking of washes, I actually purchased the Saalt cup wash separately. So I felt like with something like this, I wanted to use everything that it was made for. so that it can work more effectively, because menstrual cups are made with either silicone or rubber. If you are latex sensitive, I would recommend going the silicone route, but it's all just preference and what works for you. So I know that I said that I keep my cups in the shower, but when it comes to sanitizing them and disinfecting them, so anytime I take my cup out, I rinse it in cold water, because hot water will stain your cups, especially if you have like a clear or white one, it'll stain your cup. But rinse it off in cold water, and then I go in with this wash thoroughly. But before and after every cycle, I boil my cup. So it's recommended to boil your cup, I think they say 7 minutes. Girl, 7 minutes is not enough. You will realize why 7 minutes is not enough very quickly. You will start to get that tampon smell that you were not trying to get, and it's just because bacteria is harboring. So you have to be really careful when it comes to this. So I did some research, and I actually boil my cups for 20 minutes now. Do that at your own risk. Like I said, this is just what works for me. But there is a learning curve when it comes to these menstrual cups. So it says that it takes about 3 months to actually learn and get used to the menstrual cups without like having any leakage or anything like that. I'm gonna be honest, I started using it last October. This is August. I just stopped having leaks in like June. But that's just because I was putting it up too high, wasn't putting it down low enough, realizing that my uterus is tilted. Because with tampons, you just put it straight up. With menstrual cups, you actually go with the flow of your body, and it goes kind of back. So instead of up, it goes back. If you put it straight up, it won't work. Also, a few tips and tricks when it comes to insertion and removal. So there's several folds online. I only do, I think it's called the punch down fold. So literally you punch it down, you pinch it, and then you insert it like this and let it pop open like that. Now, if you have a more flexible cup, they won't always pop like that. So I wanted to make sure that I got something that was a little bit more firm. One, because I wanted to feel it to make sure it was in right. This cup does put a bit pressure on your bladder, so you might be going to the bathroom a bit more frequently when you first start, but it'll honestly go away, especially when you learn how to adjust. So that's the punch down fold that I use. There's also like a C fold that I've used before. I just found that the punch down fold works for me best. So once it pops open like this, you're gonna feel these ridges. These are not to be pulled on. This is just so that you can feel around where it is. I would also recommend once it pops open that you kind of take your finger around to make sure that it's open, because sometimes your cup will be like this in your body. Then of course the blood is gonna go down and it's gonna leak. So you want to rub your fingers around so that it can actually like pop open. Also, I recommend turning it, giving a quick little twist just to make sure everything is open at the top. There's also a stem on it. I'm not that advanced yet to like be cutting my stems off. I don't really need the stem to find my menstrual cup, but your stem is just so that you can locate your cup inside of your body. When it comes to the Saalt cup, you do not want to like, when you pull it down, you don't want to do like this. It will actually rip and break off. The point of it is just so that you can find it. Here's some ridges as well. And it's just to help you guide, and then you take the cup, I squeeze to remove, and then dump. One of the most important factors that I want to point out when it comes to switching over to menstrual cups is that for me, my cramps actually got lighter, and or they kind of went away, honestly. I don't cramp anymore. And if I do, it's really light. And also my period got lighter. And I know that sounds crazy, but the chemicals in tampons and pads are actually made to make your period longer so that you have to buy more. It's all a marketing strategy. I'm spilling tea, I don't care. My period went from like 5 to 6 days to like 3 to 4. It's not as drastic as some people's. I know that their cycles like went from like 7 to 3, which is a huge jump. For me, it was like 2 or 3 days off, but hey, I love it. Now I know that I saved the messy part for last when it comes to cups, but for me, I'm so comfortable with my body. The mess when it comes to taking it out does not bother me. Especially once you get comfortable with taking it out, you realize that it's actually not as messy as people may make it seem. So like I told you all before, I am a double up girl. So for the past month, I have been trying out reusable pads. I got the period starter kit from Hyo. And they just sent over the regular size. And if you can also remember, I also told you that I am a super in a tampon. So I was a little bit skeptical about a regular, not gonna lie, but I was actually very surprised. So they sent over 6 pads, and they come like this. They also come with a baggie to keep your pads in. So this is fresh pads and used pads, not at the same time, of course, but it's recommended to put like 2 pads in there at a time. I am not a sole pad wearer, so for me, you know, I didn't have to use many during my pad cycle, but it's just like a regular pad with wings. It's literally just a different material. So just like menstrual cups, reusable pads are of course good for the environment. You're not wasting products every single day of your cycle. And just like menstrual cups, you're saving money as well. But my favorite part about reusable pads, or cloth pads as some may call it, is that I felt way less irritation or like chafing as I was wearing them. Y'all know if you wear a pad or whatever, or panty liner, just not even too long, the friction from it being so close to your body just does something very uncomfortable, and it's just not the move. And I know for some cloth pads you can get them customized to your body, which is really, really dope as well, instead of having them of course like pre-made. So I'm sure with all of these you all are like, it's a gross factor to it. Like, I'm sure you can feel it. Like, I know you felt it when it came down. Don't you feel it when you use a disposable pad? Okay. It's literally the same thing. You just are washing it off instead of throwing it away. So let's say you're out and about and it's time for you to change. There's a really neat way that they do it online to like fold it. I haven't perfected it yet because theirs was so fancy. I'll put the link down below, but you can like fold it up and then place it in your bag if you're like out and changing. But there are not many cons with this. My only biggest concern was that when you have on underwear, this is a bit bulky. This part is a bit bulky. And so let's say if you want to be a bit discreet, you aren't able to, and you can kind of feel it like poking out. I wouldn't say poking out. It just doesn't lay as flat. But with the laying flat comes the irritation of the disposable pad, you know? But for that, they recommend a tighter fitting underwear so that it can kind of snug and feel a bit more comfortable. I hope today's video was super helpful. I hope that you learned something. Hopefully I kind of converted you over to the dark side or the red side when it comes to reusable period products. I'm also looking for a cup for day 2. And girl, some of y'all know what day 2 is, so I'm looking for a cup that can kind of handle a heavier flow. So if you have any recommendations, please let me know. Don't forget to give today's video a big thumbs up. Go ahead and watch these 2 videos right here and subscribe right here, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye, girl.